Okay, so I hope I'm doing this right and the lighting's okay and you can hear me okay. My name is Addie Mae Vias and I am a freshman at NYUAD. I am from the United States and I'm planning on majoring in political science. Right now I am at home in the United States in my home state of Texas. Maggie couldn't film me directly because of COVID, and I'm doing a self-vid today about the candidate weekend process and virtual candidate weekend because I was one of the lucky few who got to do the very first candidate weekend virtually. I apologize right now if it's a little bumpy. I have this on my bed, but I have it on a suitcase because obviously I'm not traveling right now. To be honest, a big part of it was getting to attend the candidate weekend and getting to see Abu Dhabi and essentially having that free trip. It sounds really bad, but that was the thing that really hooked me at first before I knew about everything else with NYUAD. But then as soon as I kind of applied and was looking into applying, I learned a whole lot more about the global education that NYUAD has and getting to study away and all those amazing opportunities. And as someone who wants to work in diplomacy later on in life, international education and interacting with people who have different backgrounds from me is something that I really love, and NYUAD is a really great place for that. It may be different just because when they did it, they kind of had less than 3 weeks to really prepare the candidate weekend. My candidate weekend was supposed to be March 5th through the 8th of 2020, but it ended up getting canceled less than a week before the candidate weekend was supposed to be taking place. And at that point, we weren't told what was going to be going on. It was just kind of like, we'll have a virtual weekend and we'll figure it out and let you know. What they ended up telling us at that point was there's going to be a mix of asynchronous activities that you do at your own time, and then there's going to be live events that were kind of going to be Q&A activities, and then we were still going to have the essay activity that happens during the actual candidate weekend, except we just got the whole weekend to write it. And so it wasn't a timed event. I think with every candidate weekend, you're invited to join a Facebook group and you kind of introduce yourself through that. That kind of became our site to get to know everyone in the candidate weekend. In my own opinion, I think that was the place that we could really show who we were and kind of shine to admissions people. That was where you're interacting with other people and kind of showing who you were and show how you interact with different people, which is a really important thing at NYUAD. It was also where we shared our item from home, because part of the candidate weekend experience is everyone brings an item that represents home for them. And so since we couldn't do that in person and it was, I guess, too hard to figure out a synchronous way to do it, everyone recorded videos and then posted those videos or posted a Facebook page post on what their item was and why it was significant, all that kind of stuff. I got an email that Friday that the weekend was supposed to start and it said you can access the portal now. They called the asynchronous parts like on demand. It was like there was a recorded class, because part of the candidate weekend is you get to attend a class. They had recorded past classes from, I believe, candidate weekend 3. And they had those recorded, and so you got to watch those, and they'd like pop up with questions during the video that you would answer. And so I don't know if that was part of the admissions process, that they like went and looked and saw who was answering the questions and if he answered them correctly. I know I missed a couple of questions, but I still ultimately got in, so I wouldn't stress that too much. There was the campus tour, which was just the video that's posted on YouTube, if I remember correctly, that like kind of goes through the NYUAD campus, and then there's questions with that kind of popped up through the video. There's a couple of other recorded sessions, I think, just talking about the core curriculum and different NYUAD things with questions that would pop up, or like polls and stuff like that. Like all of this was at our own pace, so like my day one would be different from someone else's day one. But I just remembered I tried to get everything done as soon as possible, just because I didn't want to forget about it or mess up with the time zones or something like that. On day 2, I just did a couple more of like the videos and activities that were the on-demand. So I think it was a total of 8 hours worth of videos and stuff that we would have to watch and answer like questions. And then I also remember I wrote my essay that day. And then on the last day, that Sunday, there was a Q&A with students and faculty and admissions representatives. It was live, and so there's 2 sessions to help with the 2 different time zones. And so I went to the second one just so I wouldn't have to be up super late or wake up super early in the morning. A way that I prepared is I had a lot of questions that I'd pre-written just to kind of show that I was engaged and wanting to learn more about NYUAD. That was a good time to kind of learn more about the school, and then also A, show that I was interested, but B, just get questions that I hadn't gotten answered beforehand answered, and so that was a really nice event. There wasn't an interview, which I think may change. And then again, I had mentioned we wrote an essay, and I think it was the same essay that the other candidate weekends wrote, and normally I think they get an hour maybe to write it, but for us, we got the whole weekend. But they kind of told us to just write it to just like kind of keep to the same time constraints and to not edit it as if we would another essay, because it does help them to place you if you do get into like the writing seminar, and if you can take it the first semester or the next semester and all those different things. But yeah, I think the evaluating parts were just showing that you were active in the Facebook group during the Q&As and stuff, and just showing that you were motivated to participate and kind of stand out even though everything was online, because it is really difficult to do that. That's a tricky question. I will say that having the candidate weekend, and even though it was virtual, it's still a whole lot more than I was getting from a lot of other schools that I applied to. But it's definitely hard to kind of know what the NYUAD atmosphere is like, and to know what the UAE is like and all those things when you're not actually there and you can't experience it for yourself. It has been harder to find my fit and to feel connected to NYUAD and the family itself. Just because like a lot of people make friends at their candidate weekends that end up being some of their best friends throughout their 4 years at NYUAD, and you kind of have those friends going in. As to where for me, there was, when the candidate weekend is all online and you don't have any interaction periods except for just like a comment on a Facebook post and stuff like that, it's definitely a lot harder to make those friendships. So that's definitely a disadvantage. An advantage is it's still so much better than not having anything at all. I do think it's a great opportunity to show that you're a right fit for the school and that the school is a right fit for you. Just be yourself. I know that's what you hear and it's super cliche, and I know like I always hated when people told me that, but with things being online, it's so much harder to kind of make yourself stand out, and so you're going to want to stand out just by being your unique self, showing that you're involved and that you want to be part of the NYUAD community and family, because that's really what it is. It's just one big family, and everyone helps each other through these times, and everyone wants what's best for you. I mean, like if you want to come to NYUAD, just show that you want to do that. Don't make a huge deal about this, because it won't be the end of the world. It'll be really fun and exciting and informational, and again, you'll get out of it what you put into it. I guess just get to know the school a little bit before. I guess this video would be a resource. Just have your reasons for and know why you want to go to NYUAD and why you think NYUAD is the perfect school for you, and how you'll make an impact on the NYUAD community and what you kind of will bring to that. So just prepare in that sense. Yeah, I hope this was helpful. If there's specific questions, feel free to reach out to me or anyone else who kind of went through this virtual candidate weekend, and just know that we're here for you. We want what's best for you, and that everyone, including the admissions officials, understand that this is a crazy year. Just know that everyone is super understanding. Just to take a deep breath, and it's all gonna be okay. You're watching Maggie On's channel. Like and subscribe. Good luck on your candidate weekend. Bye.